Hi guys. As you can recall, the previous lesson was about arithmetic sequences. We did all the problem solving, everything you need to know about the sequence itself. Now the only thing left to do now is to get to the arithmetic series. Now all that means it's exactly the same arithmetic sequence that we did up to now, but there are now pluses in between because we are going to add the terms, the sum of the terms. So after this lesson, you will be able to, if they ask you to take all the terms, and that we use a lot in real life problems, to add the different terms to get the total, the sum of all the terms. So the formula and stuff, the basic formula just stays the same, but now naturally we need a formula for the sum of the terms. And that is very important that you are able to deduct this formula. That is an exam question where they ask you SN. Now again, the sum of the terms is why we use a S. Remember, T we use for term, S we use for the sum of the terms. So you cannot get confused between the two of those. Good, but we need to know how to deduct that sequence and that formula. So let's go through it step by step. It's very, very easy, but it's something you have to go and practice on a piece of paper a few times because you need to remember one or two things, which I'll tell you just now. Let's just see what it's about. You remember there's term 1, term 2, term 3. If we now put pluses in between, it's now the sum of all those. And then this is the basic formula that you know up to now, which we use to find the term itself. Now, what is term 1? It's actually just A. How does one get to term 2? You add another D. How do you get to the next term? You add 2 Ds until you get to the nth term, which is my last term. You remember, that's where the formula is coming from. Tn is A plus n minus 1D. Now, what if I want the term just before this one? Then I just subtract D from the last term Tn. So if I now take this and I write it neatly in a proper line, so there I've written down once the sum of the terms. And we used A, and then A plus D, and then A plus 2D. You don't have to do a lot. You can only do 2 in the beginning and 2 at the end. So the last term will be my Tn, and then the term just in front of that one will be Tn minus D, because I'm now working backwards instead of adding D each time. Good. Now this is the thing you need to remember. What do I need to remember in order to deduct this formula? You need to write down the Sn again here. But now you just swap it all around. It's exactly the same sequence, but instead of saying A plus D, A plus 2D, I just flip it all around. So you'll see I start with the last term and then Tn minus D. You don't even have to have the next one. You can just have these two terms and those two terms. And at the end, I then land up to have only the A. So look carefully. This is the one sentence you need to remember. You need to remember, if I need to deduct this formula, because there's another formula coming later, only 2, which you also need to deduct, and that has got a different method. What do you remember? You write down the whole series, which means there's pluses in between. Then you write it down again right underneath it, but now you just flip all the terms around. This is one thing you need to remember. And the last thing you need to remember, I need to now add these two sequences. So if I add Sn to Sn, it gives me 2Sn. If I add A plus Tn, it gives me A plus Tn. If I add the next one, it gives me A plus Tn. If I add the last two, A plus Tn. If I add those two minus D plus D is 0, it's A plus Tn. So can you see what happens? We get a nice pattern, A plus Tn plus A plus Tn plus A. How many of those will you have? Remember when we started off, we said we use n terms. So how many of those brackets A plus Tn plus A plus Tn will you have? N of them. So if I add, I will have n of those A plus Tn's. Now I don't want to know what the formula is for two of these series. I only want Sn. So what do you do to get rid of the 2? You divide by 2. And a nice way to do is not to put the whole equation over 2. It's just to put a little n over 2. Because you're going to multiply it with the whole bracket, it's exactly the same as putting the whole thing over 2. Now you'll see the formula on your formula sheet looks like this one. That is why we don't say the whole thing divided by 2. We just say n divided by 2. Good. So there's your formula that you need to know. But now that's not all. If we go to the next page, we can actually do this. We can say that Tn was our last term. So if they do give you the last term of a sequence or series, and they ask you to add up some of the terms, you can just use this nice small little formula. Instead of saying n over 2a plus tn, you can just put an L there because L stands for the last term. You can keep a tn as well if you just remember tn is your last term. It's just easier to make it L and remember L for last term. But now what if you do not have the last term, which in many cases is you don't have the last L? Then you need another formula. Now you can remember Tn is actually a plus n minus 1d. So can you see what they did there? They just replaced the Tn with a plus n minus 1d because that's the formula that you know for Tn. And then we added the two a's, which gives me 2a. So here is the other formula. Now these two formulae, unfortunately, you need to know off by heart. Don't think, but I'll quickly check my formula sheet. You do not have time in an exam to all the time go and find the formula first and then check it. And sometimes you won't even know which one is which. So rather learn it. And you know the best way to learn it? Every time that you practice a problem, you write down the formula and then you do the sum. You write down the formula and then you do the sum. So by the time you've written down this formula 10 times because you've done 5 problems, you will know the formula. So make very sure that even before you start practicing that you know the formula. It just makes life so much easier if you do know the formula. Good. So 2 things you need to know here. You need to know the 2 formulae and you need to be able to deduct. So this whole thing on the previous page, that page, and then the final conclusion here, you need to be able to do all on your own. They're going to just ask you deduct a formula for the sum of a series. And then you need to be able to do those 2 pages. So the best way, go on a clean sheet of paper, practice it a few times, and it's actually only 2 sentences to remember. First one, I must write down the sequence twice, but the bottom one, I must swap around all the terms. And then the last thing to remember, I must add them. And that will give me in the end the 2 formulae. Good. So what do we do with the formula? We do examples. We do proper problems. Now there's my series. How do I know it's a series and not just a sequence? There's no semicolons in between. So they're not listing the terms. They are adding the terms or subtracting it or whichever. Plus and minus go together. Good. What is the first question? Calculate the sum of the series if the last term is minus 260. Now immediately I know a formula with L in the last term. So let's just get some space. I'm going to write down the formula. Sn is equal to n over 2a plus L. Because they gave me the last term. There is the last term. But now if I look at the rest of the sequence, I need the a and I actually need the n. Because I don't know how many terms I must add up. They said the last term. So if I've got the a. There, I've got the a. So let's just tick that. I've got the a and I've got the L. Because a is my first term, which is 4. So I've got that. But what do I not have? The little n. Because I do not know how many terms are adding up to minus 260. So this is probably the most complicated problem where they ask you a hidden question. Before you can use this sum formula, you first have to go there and you need to do the Tn formula. A plus n minus 1d. Because I do not know what my little n is. I do know my last term is minus 260, so I can fill it in there. I do know my a is 4. I do not know the n. Oh, we haven't done the d yet. Let's do it there quickly. D is right-hand side minus left-hand side, which gives me minus 6. Let's just test. Did they say, let's go and quickly check? They did say it's an arithmetic sequence, so I actually do not have to test it, but I'm going to quickly do it. If I just test it again, then I can say D is equal to minus 8 minus minus 2, which gives me minus 6. And there I see I get minus 6 each time. You see my brackets, otherwise those 2 minuses will not form a plus in the end. And I see that it's definitely an arithmetic sequence, so I've got my A and my D. So let's fill in what I have. I've got my D there, which is minus 6. Now remember what your aim is here. Your aim here is to find the little n there all on its own, because you need to know how many terms are adding up to minus 260. So I'm just going to revise it again. You couldn't have done the SN formula straight away because look at my ticks there. You only have the A and the L. You don't have the little n, so you can't find the S. So I needed the little n. And I've got only one other formula. So it's not that you're now stuck and, oh, what shall I do now? You've got only one other formula, the T formula. So you write down the T formula. You've got the term, the last one. They gave it to you. You got the A, you found the D, and remember we don't do sequences if we haven't found the A and the D because you always need them. So now I'm going to take the 4 over first because that's the loose term. So it's minus 264 if I take it over. I'm not going to multiply out there. There's a very good reason for it. I want the n all alone. If I multiply out, I'm going to get minus 6n, which in the end I'm going to have to get rid of again. So rather get rid of that minus 6. And what is the minus 6 doing? It's multiplying. So what do? You divide. So I divide the left-hand side by minus 6 as well, which gives me plus. 6 go in there 4 times. 24, 4 times is n minus 1. So n is equal to 45. Now I know the 45th, so let's write it neatly. The 45th term is equal to that minus 260. And they also told me it's the last term. So now I can go back to this formula there. And I can use it because now I've got all the information needed. So now I'm going to do n was 45 over 2. A was, remember we wrote it down at the top there. A is 4 and D is minus 6. I prefer to always draw a little loop around it. Then I know. The two things that are important for me to use any of my two formulae is the A and the D. So once I got my A and my D, I'm well away. So A was equal to 4. What was my last term? They told me minus 260. Minus 260. So I don't even need the D in this formula. And now you can just do that little sum on your calculator and you'll get the answer. Good. I'm going to take it off because I don't want you to see. When you start doing this, I don't want you to see any of this because this should be now in your head. The method, always write down your formula. Therefore, you need to know your formula. After you've tried it all on your own, you'll see the answers are all at the back. The next question that they ask is determine M. If the first M terms add up to minus 1,700. Determine M. So what are they asking me? The how manyth term. They're asking me M. That means the how manyth term, how many terms add up to minus 1,700. Add up. Is that the term itself? Did they give me a term that is equal to minus 1,007? No. They said add up to. So they gave me the sum. Did they tell me what the last term is? No. So in this case, I can't use that small little easy one n over 2a plus l because I haven't got a clue what the last term is. I just want to know what the sum of all of them is. Because remember, they said add up to. That's why I know. Now, this is the only other mistake you can make in sequences. You can use the wrong formula. And automatically, if you use the wrong formula, you get 0. We mark the formula wrong. We don't even check what you've done. If the formula is wrong, the whole problem is wrong. 0 marks, which you cannot afford. So make very sure that you read your question twice. Make sure if it's the T formula you must write down, or is it the S formula? Like in the previous sum, I knew I had to write down the S formula because that was the question. But I didn't have enough information to use it. So then just on the side, I did the T formula to have information, gain information, so I can go back to the S formula. So I know it's the N one, and because I don't know the L, I just use this one, 2a plus n minus 1d. Good, it's not a difficult formula. If you look at the last part of the formula, it's actually the T formula, a plus n minus 1d. So you must just remember the front part. Now, in order to do this, I need the A. I have the A, 4. I need the D. You remember we worked out the D in the previous one. Minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. So there's my A, there's my D, which I already worked out previously. I'm just writing it down again. And now they say, determine the M. So they didn't give me that little, they just call it M now. They could have called it K, T, Z, whatever they want. In our formula, we call it little n. So now I'm going to make it to M. I don't know what the M is, M over 2. I do know what the A was. A was 4, so I'm filling it in. The N is just now a M minus 1. I do know what the D was. It was minus 6. And what else did they give me? They actually gave me that. So I don't have to write S in. They told me it adds up to minus 1,700. So there's my equation. It's one equation with only m's that are unknown. So all I need to do is to solve the m. So there's, again, lots of different ways. So I'm going to show you the way that I prefer. I'm going to leave the m over 2 here. Some pupils immediately get rid of the fraction, which I also like. They multiply with 2. Then that little 2 is gone, and then you must multiply the minus 1,700 also with 2. That just makes a lot of big numbers that maybe is unnecessary. So let's just check first. If I do the inside of this bracket, that was a plus there in between, it gives me 8 minus 6m plus 6. So if I add that little bracket, I get 8 plus 6 is 14 minus 6m. And because all the figures inside the bracket are even, it's easier to just multiply the m over 2n, because then it can divide into the 14 and into the 6. If there was any odd number left in the bracket, you would rather multiply by 2 on both sides of the equal sign and get rid of your fraction. But in this case, I could easily multiply in there with the 2, so it gives me 7, and it gives me minus 3m. And now my sum is much easier. I can multiply that bracket out. It gives me 7m minus 3m square is equal to minus 1,700. Now you can immediately see there's the m square. The minute you see a squarey thing, you know I'm going to need to factorize. So you need a 0. And I don't want a minus in front of the m square ever. So I bring it to the left-hand side, 3m square minus 7m minus 1,700 is equal to 0. Now I need factors. I do not know if you know what times what is 1,700, but I don't know. And also the 3 must be involved in the beginning, so it's going to be very difficult. So what you rather do, you use that formula. X is equal to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That will give you the 2x answers. In this case, it's just m. So instead of the m, x, I'll just make an m there because I need to solve for m. But I'm going to cheat a little bit. If you would have tried, it gives me 3m plus 68, and the other bracket gives me m minus 25 is equal to 0. So m is equal to minus 68 over 3, or m is equal to 25. Remember what the m stands for? It's like the normal n, the how manyth term. Can I get a minus something term? No. Can I get a fractiony term? No. It's the first or the 10th or the 100th. It's whole numbers. So this one is not applicable. Now, most probably you wouldn't have found those brackets. So you would rather have used this formula. You'll get exactly the same answers. And what did they ask now? They said, how many terms? So 25 terms add up to minus 1,700. And there's your answer. Good. So it's a lot of working, but you know what? Those first two steps, those are the only 2 steps of sequences and series. You wrote down the formula, you substitute in, and after that is normal algebra, which you learned since grade 8. So you should be able to do normal algebra now with closed eyes. So it seems difficult. It's just multiplying out, and make sure you keep your head and don't make silly mistakes, which we easily make in maths. And then in the end, when you've got your answers, you just write your answer neatly, and that's done. Good. I'm taking this off again. So you're going to go try it all on your own. Remember, afterwards, we'll have all the answer nicely written out. So let's see the last question. Calculate the greatest value of k for which sk is greater than minus 800. Now remember, Sn is equal to n over 2 2a plus n minus 1d. That is my formula. You remember? I actually now did most of that already. So if you now go back to the, I took it off now, so we'll just quickly do it again. They want now sk. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a k in there, k over 2. Remember the a was, let's write it down again. The a was 4, we always need it. And the d was minus 6. So I can just fill it in, 2 times 4 plus k minus 1. D was minus 6. Now, in this case, look what they gave me. They told me that this sum of k must be greater than minus 800. Please don't ever fill it in here and then just think you're going to use the same greater than or smaller than sign. Always keep it in the order that they gave it to you. So I'm going to ignore this part now. This part was just my name of my formula. I'm going to write here, my SK must be greater than minus 800. Have you got it? So it's nothing complicated. I just do exactly what they tell me. I wrote down my formula, which you always must do, your SN formula, because they said the sum K. So I needed to write down S of K. There's my formula. And then I just check what they gave me. They gave me greater than minus 800. So now I just quickly have to multiply out here again. It was 8 minus 6K plus 6. You remember it's the same as the previous one, K over 2. Greater than, I can't just write the previous answer because there's now minus 800 involved. So it's 14 minus 6K. So this part on the left-hand side is going to be the same as the previous one. It's going to be 7K minus 3K squared. I'm going to bring the 8 over here, plus 800 is greater than 0. Why would I do that? I see a squarey thing, K squared, and I know I'm going to have to factorize. But now, can you see it's in an ugly format? So I'm going to rewrite it, minus 3K squared plus 7K plus 800 greater than 0. But what about that minus in front of the K squared? I don't like minuses in the front. We never factorize if there's a minus in the front. So what do? We multiply with the minus right through. Multiply with the minus right through. But now there's something very important that happens. I hope you remember that principle. If ever I multiply by a minus, my unequal sign swaps around. So that greater than sign there now becomes a smaller than sign. I'm going to make it very dark so you remember. So now it is smaller than 0. And now I need factors. Now I tried the factors here. It doesn't have factors. And what happens if it doesn't have factors? We do the ugly formula. Remember, I just call it ugly because it seems so long and complicated. But our mathematicians know exactly. This formula is the one that we always use if we can't factorize a trinomial. Minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So I'm going to do the substitution. B is minus 7 plus or minus 7 squared minus 4. A was there, 3. And C was minus 800. And that gives over, oopsie, I nearly forgot that, 2 times 3. So it's 7 plus or minus, you can actually do all of this on your calculator, 49 plus 12 times 8 is 9600 over 6. Good, I need my calculator now. In any case, I can just, maybe it's just easier if I do it shorter. If you're not sure, rather do the whole thing on your calculator. Oops, let's start with the 9649 all over 6. So if I now grab my calculator, you know that there's a button that says fraction, a little block over a little block. So you press that and you say 7 plus square root 9649. And then you go to the bottom and you divide it by 6 equals. And that gives me 17,5. I'm just going to round it off to 1. That is my, remember, that is actually my K. I called it X because we used to, that is the X formula. But what am I solving here? I'm solving the K. Or I also need to go back now. So I'm just going to go scroll back on my calculator. And I'm going to make that plus a minus. And I'm going to press the equal sign. And that gives me K is minus 15,2. Now remember what the K stood for. The K stood for the how manyth term. Now I can see there's only fractions. So I can't have a fractiony term. But what does it say there? It says it must be smaller than 0. Now I do not know if you can remember. This is now big revision. If I've got a quadratic equation and I've got an inequality, I need to draw a little sketch. Remember, this thing is actually a parabola. And because there's always a plus in the front, I see to it that there's always a plus in the front because we don't factorize if there's not a plus. I draw my little parabola. I draw my little plus parabola. Remember, I'm positive, so I'm smiling. That's how a positive parabola looks. And on the left-hand side, I'll have minus 15,2. On the right-hand side, I've got 17,5. You remember those represent the two x-intercepts. But now I must go and check where's my graph smaller than 0. For smaller than 0, my graph means my y's. That means underneath 0. That's there. So I need to look at the bottom part of the graph. And because this one is not applicable, that one is not applicable because a term can't be negative, I need to look at the positive one. So I need to look at the very first figure in front of 17,5, which is, it's not N, it's actually K, 17. The very first figure on the left-hand side of 17,5 is 17, so my sum's answer is 17. And there the whole thing is done. And I think this is probably, with inequalities, it's the most difficult way that they can ask the question. So if you go and work through this problem all on your own, you remember the answers are all there. I'm going to show you just now, and you can pause and you can look at it slowly. But if you can do this problem all on your own, no problems for sequences, because this is arithmetic. This is the end of arithmetic sequences. That is the most difficult stuff that you can get. There's your answer. You can pause and you can look at it carefully, and you can look at that one. And you can look at the last one. There's all the answers. There's the little parabola that I've drawn. You will pause when you look at it carefully, and you'll see all the answers properly. But firstly, you need to go and do it all on your own without even giving a glimpse at the answers. Good. I'm sure you're going to be fine. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.